In progress.
Right. So a little bit about Kevin Trudeau. He's made well over 3 billion when it comes to sales within business. He hasn't come from anything wealthy. He had an uncle that was in a certain network or society, and he pretty much just become the mentee or the apprentice. Right. Everybody knows within our compensation plan, the first level is an apprentice. Now, to be an apprentice, you probably have a mentor. And to be a mentor, you are probably an apprentice. So it's the egg and chicken sort of factor where I am some of you guys' mentor, but for me to be a mentor, I have to be a mentee. He understood this. He was able to create massive, massive wealth. And wealth isn't determined by money, guys. What he teaches is how to create blissful happiness. You see so many celebrities that chase money or people chase money, footballers get money, and then they turn suicidal. So what he teaches and what they teach is how to create blissful happiness. If you guys want this, right? What I'm about to say, the three things, just drop a 777 in the chat. Number one, blissful happiness, peak conditional health, and whatever financial well-being that you want. Whatever financial target, drop a 777 if those are the three things that you would like to have in life. Blissful happiness. There's certain levels to happiness. Some people they say I'm happy, and I'm like, your face doesn't say that, bro. Your face doesn't look happy. I'll be honest. You say you're happy, but boy, your face says a lot, right? Blissful happiness, financial abundance, where for me, it might be 100K a month. For you, it might be 10K a month, whatever financial satisfaction you want to achieve. And last but not least, health. None of that is relevant if you are not healthy. If you cannot walk, talk, right, feel good physically, it's very, very hard to look happy if you're not physically happy, if that makes sense. It shows you how to certain foods, like it's magical, literally, what he does teach. All right. So these are the four concepts for anyone taking notes. And like I said, I am not the guru. So I'm not gonna try, excuse me, I'm not gonna try and teach this. I'm just gonna try and tell you what I've taken from it and what you guys can take from it. But my best advice is to go and hear it yourself, right? There are 13 episodes on Spotify, all an hour long, and I've listened to the whole 13 tape at least 20 times. Some people say I've read a book. How long ago did you read that book, bro? I read it last year. You are a new person today. You need to go read that book because you're now going to have a new perception. Some people say, when did I listen to an audio? I've listened to that audio. When did you last listen to it, bro? A month ago. Well, you're a new person a month ago. Go and listen to it again. It's the same as saying, look, are you hungry? Yes, I'm hungry. I'm going to eat today. A month later, I say, look, do you want to go back to the same place? No, I ate or I've eaten. I don't need to eat. It's the same with your mindset. You need to repetitively feed your brain, your mindset every single day because you are evolving. Right? If you're not growing, most of us in this community should be growing. So if you're growing, it means that you're now becoming a new person. And if you're not growing, you're going the other way. You never stay, the charts don't stay still. It consolidates and then it goes up or down. It's the same with us. If you're consolidating right now and you're not intentionally growing, please believe you're going the other way. You're going down. Okay. Now, the first step when it comes to right these concepts is who you listen to. I'm going to break this down one by one, right? But who do you listen to is the first concept. People that make, right? He talks about how people that make are worth 100 billion. They're worth 100 million, and they are the most coachable. Some people start making $500 a month and they're not coachable now, right? Some people start earning 10K a month and they're not coachable. When you got the likes of Bell's making 100K a month and he's the most coachable, right? Who do you listen to? The second one, teachability index. The third, the training balance scale. And last but not least, the 4 steps to processing new information. Okay, so they are the concept, the basic concepts when it comes to creating whatever it is you want in your life, right? The whole podcast is your wish is your command. Whatever you want to whatever your wish is in today's world, you genuinely, if you understand these 4 steps, you can command certain things into your life. And I have been able to do it. There's levels to it, of course, but there's certain things that I've been able to wish into my life, and before I know it, it's actually now come in. All right, cool. So let's break this down. I'm going to keep rinsing this. Some of you may have heard this before, but like I said, to know and not to do is not to know. So if you say you know this information, but your life and your actions and your results don't add up, you don't know this information. I speak to some people, I pour into people, and I know, and I say, well, bro, I don't think you know because the results don't add up. Okay, who do you listen to? When I was broke, when I was in a situation that I did not like, guess who I was listening to the most? Can anyone tell me who you think I was listening to the most? When I was broke, didn't like my situation, weren't excited for the future, didn't have money coming in left, right, and center, who do you think I was taking advice from? Myself. I'm a brokey taking advice from a brokey. I say to people all the time, who do you speak to the most every single day? Some people say, oh, my spouse, my gal, my man, my mom, my dad, my sister, my brother. Some people chat to cats, who know, right? The person you speak to the most is yourself. As I'm speaking to you now, you're already having a conversation with yourself. You're having a little staff meeting. You're having a little staff meeting as I'm speaking to you right now. So if I'm in a situation where I'm not happy with what I'm earning, I'm not happy with where I'm going, I think I know what I'm doing, but my results doesn't says otherwise, stop listening to yourself. That's when my life started to change. When I said, you know what, Josh, you're a smart guy. I don't want to say I'm a dumb guy. Academically, I'm not the smartest, but I'm not the dumbest, right? I'm not the dumbest guy, but I wouldn't exchange lifestyles with myself from someone else. And that is why when you guys come into this opportunity and you go and speak to your friends love you, but please believe they don't respect you. They wouldn't exchange your lifestyle. They love you, but they don't respect you to a certain extent. So when now you're coming with advice, talking about trading and you're doing this and that, they're not really going to listen to you because number one, they're probably listening to themselves and they're probably in the same situation as you. So neither of you would swap places, but you take advice from each other, right? Who do you listen to? Books, right? If I want a certain lifestyle, if I want a certain lifestyle, guys, and that person that has the lifestyle read books, how dare I think I can get there and not read books? The audacity. You want to make what I make. You want to have the car that I have. I read books, but you don't want to read books, but you want to have the car. That's cheeky. That's very, very cheeky, right? Away from books, audios. Who do you listen to? Right? Your hearing. What's in between the word hear? Your ear. What's in between the word heart? Right? Your ear. So what you hear goes straight into your heart. But what are you listening to? Again, you're listening to the wrong people. You're listening to your parents, right? With all due respect, your parents may have done a great job. They may have done the best they could have, right? They may have poured love into you. They may have done the best that they could have with their situation. But if you would not exchange lifestyles with them, guys, don't take advice from them. If you want to take advice from your mom about how to be a mom, fantastic. But if you want to make a certain amount, if you want to have a certain lifestyle and your mom's not living that lifestyle, guys, I don't think that's the best person you should listen to. And it's a harsh one to swallow because you think that they know best. They want best, they may not know best. If I had listened to certain family members, I wouldn't be here right now. I promise you. I wouldn't be here right now. Okay. But when it does come to certain books, you have to be very, very careful what books you listen to or read, should I say. Because most of these books out here, and especially in this personal development, guys, if you lot do research on the industry of personal development, it's nearly $1 billion company. I mean, industry. Because most people use personal development to make money off people, if that makes sense. Right. And that's why a lot of people don't believe in The Secret and they don't believe in law of attraction, because like I said at the start, they'll give you some information. So they'll give you the secret, right? But they won't give you the whole secret. They'll miss a few ingredients. And what these books do is they will use the books to sell books to then make money to say, I'm now successful. What Kevin Trudeau did and what people around him did is they made success happen for them and then they released the books. So they didn't make money off the books. They're just now releasing the books. Okay. And you might listen to some autobiographies from certain people. Most of the top autobiography guys are not actually written by the person. They're ghostwriters and the people don't even read the books anyway. There's only a few books that we recommend here within this organization, within this industry. There's only a few books. Like you'd rather be a master of a few than a jack of all. Some people said, oh, I've read so many books. Okay, relay all the books to me and what did you get from it? Number one, you can't relay it. And number two, it actually did nothing for your life. You just read a book. Okay. Now, as I said before, the people that release this sort of information, guys, the wealth class, Okay, and he talked about this when the Titanic, back in the Titanic days, right? You had the upper class and the lower class. The lower class couldn't even come close to the upper class because they truly believe that wealth to a certain extent is in genetic pools. Now, all these special societies I'm talking about, guys, it's nothing to do with Satan and worship and all that stuff. They do that to make you scared, so you're never going to find the real information. They're just genetic pools of families that understand how to create wealth on Earth. I can't talk about I'm not getting into the conversation outside of Earth. So let's just talk about our lifetime here whilst we're on Earth, right? Because that's all we can talk about, right? But they truly believe that genetic pools is what creates wealth. But understand, guys, you can change your genetics. You can change your DNA structure. Please believe. You can genuinely change it because you're not carrying your trauma from today from you. You might be carrying trauma from your great-great-grandfather that had a bad issue with money and you're now carrying that issue. So they believe that genetics is the reason for people to become successful. All right? Who do you listen to? Audios, seminars, events, and books. Stop listening to yourself. Get out of your way. Get out your way because you don't have the results. Right? Okay. Next, teachability index. I hope guys are taking notes. If you're driving, please keep your hand on the wheel. If you're sitting there and you're just listening, don't just listen because you're going to only take in 80% of the information. Take down notes. If I showed you my notes on my phone, guys, they are uncashed checks worth hundreds and hundreds of thousands. Note takers are money makers, right? Teachability index. How teachable are you? Okay. Every single day we go up and down when it comes to our teachability index. Okay. Now there's two sides to it. When you have an index, it means you have two sides. You add or multiply the numbers and you get an overall number. If I said to you guys right now, what is your willingness to learn? Right? You guys have joined to learn how to trade. Okay, so let's just stick to that. Out of 1 to 10, there's 42 of us on. So I want to see 42 answers. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being, I really, 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 really want to learn trading. 10. Whereas number 1, I don't really want to learn it. Drop a 1 to 10 in the chat box. Okay. Drop a 1 to 10 and be honest. There's no right or wrong. I'm not gonna judge. There's no better, there's no worse. Just be honest. All right. Okay. Decent numbers. All right. Now, that bit is it's important, but it's not as important as what I'm about to say because the problem that I realize with a lot of us today is you come in with a willingness to learn. You really, really want to learn. Now, the conundrum, the deciding factor is the second question I'm about to ask. What is your willingness to change? Drop a 1 to 10. Number 10, I will do anything and everything to change. And number 1, I don't really want to change. Because that's the problem with people. You want certain things, but you don't want to change. If I said to you now, those that are putting in the 10, you got to wake up every day at 5 a.m. That might now be a number 8, right? I now say you have to eat certain foods. That might now be a number 5. You have to read a book every single day. That number might now be a number 2. So the problem that I've realized is people have a 10 willingness to learn and a 0 willingness to change. What is 10 times 0? 0. Until you are a perfect student, and these special societies won't take you on board until you're a perfect student, where you have a willingness to learn a 10 out of 10. You really, really want to learn. When I first started trading, guys, I really, really wanted to learn. I was putting in hours. Only God knows how many hours I put into trading. And then I realized that for me to really understand trading, I have to change the person I am. But some people don't want to change. Some people come into this and say, oh, I don't want to go on social media. That's not me. That's not me. Well, you've joined because you are you today and you haven't got the results. So if you want a certain result, you're going to have to change. You might have to change what you listen to. I don't listen to the same music that I used to. You might have to dress different. I don't dress the same as I used to when I started this industry. You might have to smell different. I don't wear the same aftershave when I started, right? For things to change in your life, things must change. If you want to change the money that you earn, guys, something must change. Some of us want results, but we don't want to change. And the reason why you don't want to change, if you want me to be honest with you, is because you care too much what people think. My hairstyle, I'm dreaded now. So even that's changed. I used to have plaits. Now we're dreaded. Everything changing, right? And the thing is, people will take you differently as well. People will treat you differently. Okay. But you guys need to understand for things to change, if you're not happy, if anything in your life, if you just think right now, close your eyes and think of what are 5 things I would love to change within my life. If it's a relationship, you want to have a better relationship with your parents. Guess what's going to happen? Your parents ain't going to change. They're 40 years deep. They're signed off. They've signed off to who they are. But what can change is you, right? So have that in your head. What's your willingness to learn and what is your willingness to change? And a better answer to find a number, right, of what you're willing to change, what are you willing to give up? That's how they calculate it. So if you're not sure, okay, how much am I willing to change? I'm not sure. I'm a 5. Okay, to get an actual number, what are you willing to give up? If I said to you right now, you're gonna have to give up alcohol. I know there's weed smokers on this call. You're gonna have to give up weed for the next 90 days. You're gonna have to give up smoking for the next 90 days. You're gonna have to give up going to certain friends for 90 days. Then it starts to change. And this doesn't mean forever, guys. This is just sacrifice. Some people don't understand. They don't like sacrificing certain things. When I started EA Economy, right? I sat down with my dad and I said, look, he was getting on to me saying, I haven't seen you in a while, whatever it is. I said, Pops, 90 days, leave me alone. I am working on a goal. And I'm doing this for us at the end of the day. It's not like I'm doing this for myself. I'm not working a 9 to 5 where I just take home my money and I can pay my bills and I just survive by the month. No, this is not why we're doing what we're doing, right? Start to sacrifice certain things, or your reason why will become the sacrifice. And that's when regret comes into the situation. I don't live by any regrets. I don't have any regrets, but I do not want to get to my deathbed, God forbid, and I have a bag of regrets because I didn't make any sacrifices. That is what most people, right, end up doing. You've heard this saying before. Where's the richest place? Where's the wealthiest place in the world? It's not here in Jamaica. It's not in New York. It's not in Dubai. It's not in London. It's in the graveyard, unfortunately. So many people that wanted to sing, so many people that wanted to create a business, so many people that wanted to dance, so many people that wanted to pursue a certain lifestyle, and they ended up didn't achieve a niche because they cared too much what people think and they didn't make any sacrifices. I've made countless sacrifices during this journey, so much so I've lost friends and family because of it. But that, unfortunately, is just the process. You can't ask God for certain things in your life and for him to not throw things at you, number one, and then to take certain things away. There's friends that have come on this journey that have now left, but now I'm way more of a better position. That is why they left, because they wasn't meant to be around me whilst I'm in this position right now. But you're not going to understand that until you become a little bit more aware and very intentional with what it is you're doing. Okay. So until you can get to a 10-10 student, that is when you will create success here because, right, willingness to learn, you're going to do whatever is possible. If Bells tells me to run a play, I can't give my 2 pence opinion. I can ask until I understand why there's a difference. If you don't understand why someone's telling you to do something, ask questions until you understand. But don't add your 2 pence because you're not being teachable now. You've come to me, you've asked me for advice. Josh, how can I get better? How can I do this? How can I do that? I give you the play, but the first thing you say is but. Everyone knows. I remember when I was younger, if I said the word but, I'm getting a slap because I'm not listening. What do you mean but? But means you have an objection with what I've just said. You can say and, start the sentence with and I think. When you say but I think, it means that you now know somewhat better. You're not being coachable. And all that means, guys, I'm not a manager. I'm not gonna sack you. It just means that I won't pour into you next, or any other leaders, a mentor will not pour into you. If you've phoned my phone for advice, I've poured into you, and you come with, but maybe next time I won't answer. Okay, cool. Right. This is more a bit on the teachability index, but do not, right, stop being teachable and coachable. Do not let money, number one, be a factor of that, or your lifestyle. A lot of people get to a certain stage and now no one can tell them anything. Bells makes 100K a month, guys. He is coachable. If Zayn or someone that is in a better position than him gives him advice, he's not going to butt or give his 2 pence. He's going to be coachable. He's going to say, okay, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Let me listen to him. He has the results. Before you know it, you pick up the same habits, you have the similar results. All right. As I said before, we are all apprentices. Okay. We are all apprentices. Okay. These are a few of the special society that he talks about. Okay. Believe it or not, guys, these families, there's way more families, but these are the ones that he's talking about. He reached the highest level within the Illuminati and Skull and Bones. These guys created the CIA. These guys run the foods, the oils, the main monopolies of today's world. These guys pretty much run it. This is not a belief system. This is not this is not my opinion, guys. If you do your research, and even if you do your research, they probably won't even tell you on the internet. You have to know someone that's already doing it. Same as network marketing. None of you guys have heard of network marketing before this, but now you've met someone that does it. You're now opened up to a new can of beans when it comes to information. Okay. These are just family genetic pools that have certain information of how to create those 3 things that I spoke about: happiness, health, and wealth. Okay. Right. Training balance scale. Okay. This is where a lot of people get stuck. Okay. Training balance scale. As a scale, like a weighing scales, there's 2 sides to everything. Okay. What the training balance scale explains and what they understand and what most people don't is that you have one side, okay, right? You have one side of the scale, which is there's many words for it. Okay. You have one side of the scale where you have your thoughts, you have your thinking, you have your desires, your dreams, your goals, your attitude, your mental processes, objectives, right? Vibration, intention, energy, emotions, motivation. That is one side of the scale. And the other side of the scale is the skill set. Okay. Now he says that this is 99% the left-hand side and the skill set is 1%. But what most people do is they worry about the how. Guys, the how is irrelevant. I did not know how I was going to get in the position I am today. I didn't worry about the how. You are not in control of the how. But what you are in control of is the reason why. So the left-hand side, you can put it as your reason why. The left-hand side is your skill set, right? And I say to most people, look, what's your dream car? What's your dream car that you'd want to be driving? The first thing they think about is, well, how much money would I be making? I've just asked you, what is your dream car? You're talking about how much you're making. I didn't ask about how much you're making or how. Too many people worry about the how. I show you the compensation plan. I say, look, your goal is to make 3K a month in 90 days. How am I going to find 75 people? I didn't know how I'm going to find the people that we have today. I didn't know how Samantha was going to just message me on Snapchat. I didn't know how that was going to happen. She didn't know how she was going to go viral, but she did it. Too many of us worry about the how. Worry about your thoughts, your thinking, your desires, your dreams, the mental processes focus on. You could have a negative bank account right now. You could be in debt right now. You could be lost right now. That is not the situation. Because your mind plays games on you. When you're dreaming, guys, and when you have a nightmare, your body still sweats. Your heartbeat still races. So your body does not know what's real and what's not. But what is controlling that? Your mind. Most people don't plug into this. Do not worry about the how. The skill set will come. So when people say, oh, I want to learn a strategy, it took me 2.5 years to realize with trading, I went through so many strategies, so many products, so many, I wouldn't say courses, but so many different educational mentors to realize the skill set is irrelevant. Look how many wealthy people are in the trading industry. You got Q Banks, you got so many other people out there, right? They have different strategies. That's not the common denominator. What the common denominator is the way that they think. And people come into this, they don't want to change the way they think, but you want to make money in trading. You are in the wrong game. And if you can't hear, you're going to feel, because I had to feel by losing a lot of money. Some people cry over losing, we all know that famous story, right? If anyone that's new, someone left the business because they lost £9. He lost £9 and left the business, right? Crazy, crazy stuff. Okay. When your attitude is right, the facts do not count. A famous saying, right? When your attitude is right, the facts do not count. Before I joined EA Economy, it was a fact, right? At the time, that there was no one that went to Prodigy 5K within 90 days. That was a fact. What my attitude was that I am now gonna change that. So it was a fact, right? But that don't count in my world. Because when your attitude is right, the facts do not count. 90 days, we went and did 5K. Mariam in Nigeria, she come in, she knew what happened. Her attitude was, I'm going to get this done in 6 weeks. In 6 weeks, she went from a zero income to 5K a month. When your attitude is right, the facts do not count. Okay, it is all down to your thinking. What I know a few people do this, what I know Sammy does is right, is she has a vibe check where every hour on her phone, she sets an alarm. What that alarm does is it allows her to realize, okay, an hour later, what was I thinking about? Because some of us don't realize that we're actually thinking. If you read Earl Nightingale, The Stranger's Secret, write that down. Anyone taking notes? The Stranger's Secret, Earl Nightingale, right? The biggest problem with today's people is they do not think. And it's clear that you don't think because look what you do on a daily basis. You wake up, right? You get out a box, right? You get out your bed, which looks like a box. You go downstairs, you get the cereal, which is a cereal box. You get in your car, which looks like a box, right? You drive to work, you sit in an office, which is like a box, right? You bring your packed lunch, which is in a box. You leave from work, back in your box. You go home, sit on the sofa, and you watch a box. You watch your TV. Most of us don't think outside the box. And that's one thing I was taught as a child, think outside the box. Some of us do not think outside the box. We think in our box. Tunnel vision the wrong way. It's not even, it's just a tunnel. It's not even a vision, it's just a tunnel. Some of us do not think, right? The last one, and this is probably the most important, I'll be honest. Or second, first I'll say coachability. They're all as important. Let me not even categorize it, okay? They are all just as important, guys, all right? They are all just important. Now, this here is called the 4 steps to processing new information. Okay, 4 steps to processing new information. I'm going to go through each one. Okay, unconscious incompetence. Anyone taking notes? What this means is that you don't know what you don't know. And I'm going to give an example for each one. So when you're a baby, right? You don't know what you don't know as a child, as a baby, right? You don't know that tying your shoelace is even a thing. You don't even know that it's a thing because what you don't know, you don't know. I didn't know that making a certain amount per month was even possible legitly. Let's just say that, right? I didn't know that making 100K a month, if you're making 100K a month, you're either an artist, footballer, or you're up to some illegal activities. That was what I thought I knew. Then you walk into a room of people that are doing that on a normal basis. I now know something I didn't know before. Okay? So this is where it comes back to being coachable. If you know that you are currently in an unconscious incompetent state, right? Where you don't know what you don't know, you're going to be as coachable as possible because you really don't know what else is out there. This is where you're now open-minded. If you're closed-minded, this is irrelevant because you think you know everything. You think da 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 da. You're not you're unconscious incompetence times 10, right? Cool. Conscious incompetence. This is now where, if you was a child, you've seen your parents, they put your foot in a shoe and they did some things with the laces. You don't know what they're doing, but you've now been made aware that tying your shoelace is actually a thing. So now you're at the level of conscious competence, right? So you're aware, the child, as a child, you have now realized, okay, I put my foot in the shoe, my mom just tied my lace. I'm now aware that tying my shoelace is a thing, right? I'm now aware of it. I'm now consciously incompetent of information of this now new thing that I've just seen happen. Okay. Before, I wasn't aware that trading could make you money, right? I wasn't aware of trading at all. So I was unconsciously incompetent when it comes to trading. I now put my first trade in. I'm now consciously incompetent. I've seen it done, or I've jumped on a Zoom call and I've seen something happen. So I now know trading is a thing. Okay. The next level, conscious competence. This is now where you intentionally try something, but it's not automatic yet. So as a child, right? You've now seen your parents do it so many times. So you've consciously incompetent seen your parents, right? Tie your shoelace. Cool. You now do this by yourself, but you have to think about it. So you do the loop, you do your second loop, you tie it, and you pull it, and it doesn't work. Okay, let me try it again. You are now trying to do it yourself. This is where you're at the conscious competent level. So now at this stage, when it comes to trading, for example, you now have a trading plan. You are consciously thinking, okay, I need to have a trading plan. I need to have a withdrawal plan. I need to have a whole system when it comes to trading because I'm aware of trading. I now know trading works. I'm intentionally, consciously trying to make it work when it comes to trading. And the pinnacle level we all need to get to when it comes to information is being unconscious competence. When you are unconsciously incompetent, guys, you are perfect when it comes to the information that you've now received. Okay. So now at this point, you don't even have to think when it comes to trading. The problem with trading, guys, is most of us are at the conscious competence level when it comes to trading. You're thinking about it. You need to get to a stage where you don't even need to think about it. You just go off your confirmations. Have I got my confirmations? Have I got my rules? Enter the trade. Why am I thinking about it? I'm unconsciously competent. So back to now where with the child now, right? With his shoelace. Some of us do our shoe. You do your shoelace. You don't think about, oh, I'm going to do the loop here. I'm going to do. You just do it automatically. It's the same with driving. He talks about the driving experience. You don't know that you don't know. You don't know that driving, you can even drive is a thing. You then sit behind the wheel or you get passenger of a car. You now see that driving is possible. Okay. Conscious competence. You now are driving. You're doing your driving lessons. You're consciously looking left, looking right, looking at your camera, at your mirrors. You're indicating. You're doing your gear stick, gear one. It's all consciously. You're manually think. You have to think about it. And then you get to the stage now where you drive home. You don't even know what route you took. You're just on autopilot. You're flipping gears. You're double clutching. You're doing all sorts. You're looking in this mirror because you've now got to that level of unconscious competence. Guys, if you get to each of these levels or unconscious competence from any information, you are at a stage where you can now attract anything into your life. I was just talking about petty things, shoelaces, driving a car. Imagine if you knew this information when it comes to being able to attract certain things and opportunity into your life, right? Imagine what you could do if you unconsciously, you're not even thinking about it. And this is where I say I've got to when it comes to positive thinking. I'm unconsciously just positive. At times, you might have a bad day where you need accountability partners, where as you're around the right people, they might say, you're not being positive. Okay, oh shit. Maybe I'm not unconsciously yet, but I'm going to go back to it. Some of us are unconsciously negative. Imagine that. You don't even know that you're negative, right? These are the levels of processes that they go through. Now, the only way to get to unconscious competent, guys, is two ways. All right? There's two ways for you to get to this level. Repetition, okay? Studying and discipline. If you want to become a master, you have to master the basics. Master the basics. My trading strategy now is basic because I've mastered the basics. Some of you lot's first videos on the ECA Academy is support and resistance, right? It's support and resistance, trend lines. That's basic information, but you haven't mastered it yet, right? You have not mastered it. Now, to master anything that we're in the world, whether you want to become a footballer, whether you want to cooking, swimming, driving, excuse me, right? It takes 10,000 hours. 10,000 hours. Messi, Ronaldo, they've done thousands and thousands of hours. Some of us come into trading and you want to do half an hour a day and you want to master trading. How dare you? You don't understand. But don't get it twisted. Here in EA economy, you don't have to master it. You can still make money. That's the funny thing. I didn't have the opportunity when I first started. I had to put in the hours and I still haven't done 10,000. Right. And when do you stop being coachable? When do you stop learning the basics? When you want to know that little bit more. That's how he says it. He says, how do you know when you're really, really coachable? When you really want to learn a little bit more. You love the idea of learning because you know that you don't know what you don't know. Some of us think we know it all. We got bigger egos than we have bank accounts. It's crazy. Crazy. That's most people. You have bigger egos than you have bank accounts. Have some humility. I realize that, especially when it comes to trainings and it comes to events, if someone on stage is in a position that I would like to be in, I better be writing notes, number one. And number two, I better shut up and just listen. If someone is in a position that you want, try and learn from them. It doesn't mean ask slick or be a teacher's pet. Because if anything, especially if that person is a mentor, they will realize this person could be a mentee. Some people think, oh, I'm not going to rub him up or I'm not going to stroke his ego. If you want to get proximity, if you want to have a certain network, you're going to have to rub some people's ego. Because eventually they will realize this person's a mentee. I'm going to help this person get to the next level. And then you eventually will have your ego stroked as well. Mentee, mentor, it's the same thing. Okay. Now, all you're doing when you're doing repetitions, you're just creating certain neurons within your brain, guys. This is, like I said, this is what I've been able to take from it and my learning from it, but I'm nowhere near the level that some people are within the society that I'm currently in. Some of these guys are just, and this has got nothing to do with religion. This has got nothing to do with the belief system. This is not a belief. How our mind works, scientifically, it's been proven. Like, this is a scientific proven. Whether you believe in gravity or not, jump off a building, you're not going up, bro. It's not a belief system. But don't hear it from me. I'm just a messenger. Go on to Spotify, listen to Your Wish Is Your Command. And this is what has helped me create whatever it is I want in this earth. Afterlife, that's another conversation. Mars, Saturn, Pluto, that's another question. Let's just talk about Earth for now. Don't try and ask questions that has got nothing to do with it. Right? Sammy tried to fly when she was younger, and that's why she got a conch in her head. I'm joking. Right? I'm playing. I'm playing. But guys, look, all I'm doing is being the middleman here. I'm plugging you guys in. All right? I am plugging you guys in. Okay? Time flies when you're having fun. But definitely, guys, please do not underestimate when it comes to your mindset, your thinking, becoming aware, right? Some of us are not aware. Some of us are not aware as much as we need to be. There's levels of awareness and levels of knowing. And all you're doing, what you really knowing is self. Most people don't know themselves. You try to be someone else, you're doing shit for someone else, right? You don't know yourself or your higher self, your best self, right? Your wish is your command. I'll send in the link on our on WhatsApp. But if you guys study it and repetitively listen to it, don't even thank me because this is not my information. All right. I deliberately downloaded it so that when I was on the plane for as many hours as I was, it was, what do you think was going on? Even when I was sleeping, it's just programming. Right. So I'm gonna send in episode. What's this? Episode 2. Where's one? One. Okay. And alongside trading, alongside investing, it makes sense why the world is the way it is today, guys. Okay. The government have tried to take him out. They've sent him to prison. They've tried to do everything because if this information, when they tried to get this information out back in the 90s, they didn't let it happen. But because of social media, because of how many people are in today's world, a lot of the information is being leaked. And I'm now leaking it to you guys. It's up to you what you guys do with it. Like I said, there's 41 of us on. It doesn't phase me whether anyone does this or not or listens to it. Because once you understand it, you're powerful to beyond belief. If everyone knew this, no one would do what they're doing. I promise you right now. No one would be doing what they'll be doing. But what you don't know, you do not know. All right, guys. So just to wrap up, I hope you guys got value. I hope you guys took notes. It's a training I haven't done in a while, but like again, for me to teach as well, it also helps me subconsciously plant the seed even more. All right, guys. So we have got an updated display picture. If you haven't seen it already, those that are new, please understand the schedule, know the schedule off by hand, off by heart. Plug into as much Zoom calls as possible, right? Mention and conversate within the group chat. Okay, we're here to grow, we're here to make money, and we're here to reach our goals. All right, guys. So without further ado, if there is no questions, if there is anything that I haven't missed, I appreciate everyone jumping on today's call. God bless, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tuesday we have morning motivation with the wonderful Samantha or Natalie. I'm not sure who's going tomorrow, and then we have Tuesday's basics. So learn the schedule, plan your schedule around what it is we're doing, and let's get it.